What up, what up, what up? It's your boy Oshin. This is Oshin's View. I'm in the building with Willie Negro on the boards.
What up?
A lot of stuff been going on in social media. As it always is. Like content is so easy to come by because everybody wants you to know their business. Everybody wants you to know what's going on in their life. But then at the same time, they want you to tell you to mind your business too. That's the weird part about a lot of things. It is very weird. That's why I say it ain't real. This is the world we live in. It's like, okay, here's my plight. This is what's going on with me. So people put things out there. Okay, you got to mind your business.
It's crazy because you literally are publishing something. That's what it means to post, to publish something. And when you put something out in the world for consumption, you can't get mad if people consume it. It's very weird. And like I said, most people think they're more important than they are. Nobody really cares. It's just clickbait and we just want to judge everything.
Pretty much. But it is one thing I did want to say though. And whenever I look into the camera, that's when it gets deep. It gets deep when I look at the camera. If you're going to put your business out there in social media, once you press post, publish, whatever it is, mind your business is no longer in your vocabulary. Can't say that. You can't say that. I don't want to see it react because at that point I'm on troll patrol at that point, because you don't get to open the doors and open Pandora's box and then tell me to mind my business. I absolutely won't be minding my business, and I will be judging away. I'll be judging away, and I will be putting notes inside my pad like, well, we'll be talking about this on the show next week. And speaking of somebody that already started doing that, Jonah Hill's ex-girlfriend. That's the crazy part. She's his ex-girlfriend. I think you wanted to start us off how that situation came about.
That was a crazy situation. So she posted some personal text messages about how he was controlling and manipulative, and the text message pretty much said, if you want to live this surfer lifestyle, she's a surfer, and be with these guys and post sexy pictures and stuff. I don't know if she's a model. She could be a model too, but then you're not the one for me. You know what I mean? And it goes on, and he gets sarcastic, and it was a little. It sounded a little bit manipulative, but to me, it just looked like a breakup text. You know what I mean? Like it looked like, hey, this is the end, and I'm getting my shit off. You know what I mean? Like, and I just think it was. Before I say what I think, what do you think? What do you? It was. What do you think? How do you think it was? What do you think about it?
Well, to give it a little more context, I'm going to read off one of his responses. Then I can tell you what I think about it. He says, plain and simple, if you need surfing with men, boundaryless, inappropriate friendships with men, to model, to post pictures of yourself in a bathing suit, to post sexual pictures, friendships with women who are in unstable places, and from your wild recent past, beyond getting a lunch or coffee or something respectful, I am not the right partner for you. If these things bring you to a place of happiness, I support it, and there will be no hard feelings. These are my boundaries for a romantic partnership. My boundaries with you based on the way these actions have hurt our trust. Way I feel, I always say that a woman's kryptonite is the man that communicates. Now, to be fair, there's a hint. I sent a hint of manipulation.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give that.
Yeah.
But he kind of told you where he's at with it, especially being in the relationship. First off, let me try to dig a little deeper. I don't see Jonah Hill as somebody that if he wasn't the Jonah Hill, that he was going to be popping off with a lot of women. Yeah. I'm sorry, I just don't.
I think that's important. That's important.
But by the graces, he is Jonah Hill. He's made his name into something. Yeah. He's successful. He's rich. He's still Jonah Hill, but he's the Jonah Hill now. So he's looking like, yo, it doesn't have to just be you. Like, you can be somebody else. And I kind of think those things, I think what she signed up for in terms of the relationship, a hit of her probably being like, I'm probably the best thing that happened to you. And I don't think she said that, but it's a feeling. This is all speculation on what I think she thought of him, because guys, you have a trophy woman. You have a trophy woman. When I'm talking about these guys that are in the industry and things like that. Because trophy woman at our level is something totally different. It's the same premise, but it's a difference. It's a difference. So clearly he's a millionaire. He's successful. He's doing things without repeating everything. But she's probably looking like, I'm probably one of the best things that happened to him. He's not really going anywhere. He's going to have to accept it, because she's kind of, I guess she's trying to liken herself as a celebrity herself.
Right.
And I don't personally know who she is or whatever. And I'm pretty sure, I don't even like to kill nobody when I don't know them, because every time I seem that I know somebody, I Google them. Next thing you know, they got a net worth for like $10 million. It's some shit that I didn't know about. So maybe she might be up somewhere.
Yeah.
But I don't think she's Jonah Hill up like that, because I don't even think that's that kind of conversation. But to stick to the meat of what you said about when he was like, she wants to have no boundaries, a lot of women got behind that, because a lot of women are like to champion, she can do whatever she wants to do. And that's a slippery slope to go down, because this is my thing. When people say, I can do whatever I want to do, it's almost like when somebody's like, well, you're not going to make me shut up. Well, unless you physically do something to somebody, you're right, you can't make them be quiet. But I think that's just a technicality of the whole thing. The whole thing is this. He says he's not comfortable with her doing these kind of things. And of course, I'm pretty sure the word insecure was thrown all through his whole diatribe from, the ladies out here. But his insecurity probably is deep-rooted a little bit, because he's still Jonah Hill, but he knows himself without he's a fat boy, stuff like that. And there's nothing wrong with fat dudes, because there's a lot of big dudes doing their thing. But I'm just saying, you can change your body. Women can change their body and stuff. And I want you to go.
What do you say about the people who say she was like this and doing these things when you met her, and now why would you want her to change?
I'm glad you brought that up, because once you become in a relationship, we need to put that out there. Stop saying the way you met me and it was cool then, I'm changing. No, it can't continue to go that way. That's not how relationships work. Shut up and down. This is not a dirty word. Sacrifice is not a dirty word. But it's going to have to be some sacrifice on both ends.
And compromise.
Thank you. I'm the type of person, I'm willing to compromise until my partner isn't willing to compromise. Because then, now it's a test of wills at this point, because now I'm not budging. And you can be who you are, cool. I'm not budging on who I am either. So now we're going to stay in this stalemate. And then it's like, well, the relationship is over. Then if that's the case, that's how you want it, then fine. But if you're in a committed relationship, or if this is part of that relationship, well, if it's part of the relationship, it's not an issue.
Right.
But if it's kind of like, look here, I don't really, like that. And women, y'all need to stop acting like when you look good, and we get that, you look good, there's going to be men out here that are attracted to you, that want to get with you, and this, that, and the third. And you might even have some male friends and stuff.
Yes.
But you can't give off a vibe. It's almost like a type of pheromone that you can give off, for real, that you can give off, that's having men still think you're available, because you want to feel, as a woman, you still want that piece of being needed.
Right.
And everything.
So when people say, yo, when I met you, I was doing these things, I'm like this, so what's the problem with it now? What I say is, when you get in a relationship, the main thing that changes, especially when you're in a committed relationship, is you have to consider your partner in your actions. That's what changes things. So it's not that you can't do it anymore. It's that you have to consider your partner. So if I was moving crazy, now I have to consider how I move and how that affects my partner. You see what I'm saying?
I want you to continue. I'm sorry to cut you off because you just said something. Small example of considering your partner. When you're just dealing with a woman and y'all not in a committed relationship, you go out, you'll stay out till 6, 7 in the morning.
100%.
You particularly don't even do anything, but you're staying out just to hang out.
100%.
Can't do that once you're in a relationship. Because guess what? You don't want that person doing that.
Right.
And believe you me, if you're a guy and you allow your woman to stay out to 6, 7 in the morning, y'all ain't in a relationship. I'm not taking the woman serious that is coming in 6, 7 in the morning. Even if, first off, I can't take you serious. I don't even think I'm going to go for that if we're in the talking stage. So, be honest.
It's not that I'm not going to take you serious. My thing is this. By considering your partner doesn't mean that you don't do the things that you used to do. That means that you have a conversation with your partner and say, hey, how does this affect you? Or how do you feel about this? You see what I'm saying? For example, Instagram chicks posting pictures, you should be able to tell when they're in a relationship. When those thong bikini pictures change to workout pictures, that mean they got a man.
Oh.
Because they still got to post because they make money off the internet.
Not all of them.
Some of them. You see what I'm saying? They still got to post, but, not necessarily in the thong bikini or the low-cut joint that almost show all the goods. You see what I'm saying? Like, you consider your man. Or you go have a conversation with your man, and if he don't care, then you can do that. You see what I'm saying? It's some guys that don't care. There's some guys that like that other men give their woman attention. I'm not one of them, but they out there. You see what I'm saying? But that's what I mean. And so you can't just say, I was doing that before. Yo, it's a lot of things that we was doing before we met you.
Let me tell you like this. Savannah James.
Facts.
She's not going to be in no thongs. She ain't doing that because, for one, she's a mother. I know that's an asterisk, that's a big thing.
Oh,
now.
don't do that.
I'm going to do it.
Don't do that. You got killed.
This is why I put this. She is a mother of 4. Let me see. No, 1, 2, 3. I think they got 3 kids. It's Zuri, the daughter, and the 2 boys, or whatever. So they're 3 kids, or whatever. You don't think she's looking? First of all, she's a woman.
Yeah.
LeBron still has a job. He still has to make his woman, his wife, feel wanted, needed, to make her feel sexy and all that stuff.
100%.
You don't think she's looking at those things? But she's not going to. She knows how that's going to make him look.
Right.
And what's going to come along.
She's considering
him. You see what I'm saying? Like that. Now, I'm pretty sure LeBron got pics of his wife and some stuff.
Right.
And that's where it's at. It ain't about insecure, but he's like, yo, I can't have the world seeing what I'm seeing you do right now.
Right.
I ain't insecure, but that's not how we moving.
Right.
And my thing is this. Guys don't want, and I ain't gonna say that. Guys do be on some controlling shit. I'm gonna keep it 100.
100%.
I'm gonna keep it 100. Dudes be on some controlling shit. But I'm sorry. Sometimes you gotta think for these chicks.
Women be on some shit.
They be on some good shit. They be on some other shit. You gotta think, because it's like, yo, you don't want me in the Speedos showing my junk. You see what I'm saying? I'm looking like,
I don't know if anybody wants that, bro.
I'm just saying, if there's money to be made, Speedos is something that's the Speedo, just DM me, let me know what's going on. But I'm just saying, women are a little different when it comes to that, because women will applaud a lot of other women wanting their man. Right. So women are a little more, they have a little more flexibility in terms of that, because of control. But the problem is this: once certain dudes don't know how they can handle attention. Now, if you got a man that can handle a lot of attention, then by all means let him flex. He take his shirt off. This, that. Yo, I told you, Amari Hardwick.
Yeah.
Ghost. He had 3 outfits. in Power.
Yeah.
Sweatsuit. The killer outfit. No, 4. Sweatsuit. The killer outfit.
Yeah. Suit.
A suit. And naked. That was it. Those were his outfits.
And naked.
Yes. That's it. Shamar Moore, I think he only has 2.
Oh, man.
See-through shirt or no shirt. You see what I'm saying? Like that, that's what it is. No, for real, but I'm saying, I know I'm messing around.
But the other thing about that is, whenever I read the text, first of all, it's a personal text. Like, that was crazy. To post a personal text is wow, it's crazy. But the other thing is, when I read that, so I put myself in the position of her. Like, if a chick texts something like that to me, what would my reaction be? And I believe that men, always when presented with an ultimatum, 9 times out of 10 we take the latter. So if a chick would have said, "Well, I guess this ain't the relationship for me," then I would have been like, "All right, okay." And so I that was the first thing I told her. Like, why didn't she just? All right, cool. I agree with him. Like, yo, live your life. You know what I mean? But the other thing I thought about is she either really wanted this relationship to work because she liked him, because the timing of this is wrong, or she missed that money. Because the timing of this is crazy, because this is right after he is married and just had a child, I believe. You know what I mean? So you off the back of that, you post off the back of his happiness, you gonna post it, oh, he's controlling him, manipulative and all this stuff. Like, what? Why is that your business? Like, y'all not together.
Oh, if I was him, I'd have had his girlfriend or whoever. Is he not married, or is that his girl?
He married now.
Well, I would have my wife text. I'd have to put out a text or something like, "Yes, he's controlling, and I'm glad he's controlling me and our kid." Like, sometimes you got to throw back, because she knew what she was doing when she put that out. The time, like you said, the timing of it and everything. Sometimes you got to stoop. You got to stoop a little lower sometimes. Now, I'm glad it didn't go that way, but it's like you said, why do that? Like, my whole thing was, what do you plan to accomplish by doing
Crazy.
this?
You just trying to tear this man down.
Like I said, he gave her the boundaries. It had a little hint of manipulation and ultimatum, but it looked like he was willing to have a conversation. That was the whole thing.
Well, it sounds to me like these is the breakup text. Like, this is the breakup. I'm done. Like, I'm just going to let you know how I feel. Like, listen, you out here, in my opinion, you bugging. If you want to do that, live your life. I'm done. That's how it came across to me. And, if you read the follow-up text, it seemed like she kind of pleading her case. Like, yo, no. And I'm like, yo, he's done. Like, it sound bad. It looked bad reading it for her. Like, he's done. You know what I mean? But speaking of boundaries, what do you think about this joint where I was reading a joint that said liking a pic on Instagram is cheating? Do you think liking a pic, like if you like a girl's pic on Instagram, that's cheating?
No, it's not cheating. It's not cheating. The world we live in, social media. First off, let's just break down the whole like thing. I'm a pity liker, for one.
I'm a pity liker.
This
is a pity liker, yo.
If I come to your page and you don't have a whole lot of likes, I'm just going to press like. I don't care what you talking about or whatever. I don't care what picture you posted.
That's crazy.
I'm just going to like it. Now, in the event of, to stick to the topic, in the event of, like you said, liking the picture, see, I started to get big on Instagram in the last year and a half, stuff, like really understanding what it is. Because I'm just a double tapping swipe through her. Like, it really, like, I don't really pay, like, you know how bad you have to look? Like, not bad as in good, bad as in bad. You know how bad you have to look for me to scroll by and not double tap if you have a bikini on? Like, that doesn't really bother me. Like, oh, word, oh, her ass is out, boop, boop. Oh, her chest is out, boop, boop. Oh, she's kind of cute, boop, boop. I'm not really paying that no mind. But it's them damn blue checks. That's where a lot of that validity comes into it. So to stick to what you're saying in terms of cheating, I'm gonna have a little fun with this one. I'm not gonna say it's cheating, but it's definitely flirting. It definitely gets off the head of flirting. And I'm gonna tell you why. Do you remember this long time ago, ancient history, there were these things called ringtones?
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna keep it 100. I got into some shit because of a ringtone. Woman I was dealing with, some nigga called. I didn't like the ringtone.
What was the ringtone?
I don't know, but it would sound a little too personable for me, for my liking. You know what I'm saying? No, think about it.
Yeah.
Think about it. Yo, ringtones are that serious because it's a difference. You can tell when somebody, remember the ringtone days, if somebody's just put a song next to it, you didn't cut it up, it had no rhyme or reason. It would just come on. But once we understood how to edit it and you put certain parts, it means something because you put in that part, oh boy. Remember I told you I had to deal with somebody. I changed this particular ringtone because it was initially a Dipset ringtone.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say on that. I had to change it. That's all I'm saying. I had to change it because you deal with this dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that was my ringtone by myself.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, but I can't remember the ringtone, the young lady that I'm talking about, not her, the young lady that I'm talking about. All I know is it sounds too personable. That's like this. If you out, here you go, your wife calls you and the ringtone goes off. Never try me, don't try me, because you're my wifey. She rocking with that.
Right.
She rocking with that. Her ringtone go off and it's on some old, she just said, oh, that's my baby, da-da-da-da-da, whatever the song's gonna be, you rocking with that.
Hey.
Now, hold up, before you cut me off. Some other dude calls, and that joint is like, so I creep. Yeah. You tell me you not gonna feel away. Oh, I just like that song. Who is that? Oh, that's just my work friend.
Oh.
So I creep?
Yeah, that's wild.
Come on.
Yeah, the ringtone era was crazy.
It was crazy.
My man, his baby mom used to call, and that joint used to come on, thick thighs, and she full of surprises. I swear that bitch is shady. And I used to crack up every time. I say, yo, you are crazy. But ringtones are specific. It take time to edit and put it onto the phone. A like is literally a tap or a double tap. Literally a tap or a double tap. I do not think that liking sexy pictures on the internet is cheating. I do agree with
flirtatious.
I was watching it might have been on the Breakfast Club with Charlemagne and Envy. I do agree with them that it can make your partner look crazy. So I used to like pictures like women pictures on Instagram. And then my wife was like, why are you doing that? I said, it's a nice picture. Because I didn't hide it. It was right in front of her. Yeah. Like, it's a good picture. She was like, yeah, I don't care what you look at. But other people can see that you're doing that. And it makes me look crazy if you liking all these, big butt chicks pictures. And that made sense to me. So from then on, I didn't like any more pictures because I consider how that makes her feel.
Yeah, but see, the thing with that is that was a conversation. What you call it? Do you know who she's double tapping on? Because women are the masters of they got these celebrity crushes. Because this is my thing. Celebrity dude that I don't think you gonna run into, the chance are you gonna run into, so whatever. Right. Whatever, go ahead. But I don't know these shits.
Right, but it's a difference between celebrities
or a friend or somebody that you get.
And Instagram models. They not celebrities. They just Instagram models that's half naked, and some of them look good. You know what I mean? And it does look crazy and thirsty if you like it. If every time you see a picture, you see if I every time I see a picture, I see your name under there. You liked it. It looks crazy.
It does. It does. And the problem is, I'm not gonna go through likes, you know what I'm saying, like that to see if she's looking at those things. But I'm just kind of, it's almost like when your woman go out,
right? We
don't ask a whole lot of questions. We don't need every detail or how the night went. We just like, we got 2 questions. Did you have a good time? Y'all got home safe. That's it. We're not gonna sit there, word, so ain't no dudes, so no dudes try to talk to you. We know a nigga tried to holler at you. We not saying you did anything or you've entertained it. Right. It's the same thing. My thing is, this is why it's a slippery slope to say cheating. That's why I said,
but you bumped into a different topic.
Flirtatious. Go ahead.
Because it's different for men and women, because I think men and women's insecurities work differently. So, for example, we don't care if men try to talk to you. We really don't. We like, all right, it's up to you to not entertain it. I don't care if I assume that a man is going to try to talk to you. You're an attractive lady. I assume that. So that's not my insecurity. Our insecurity comes when we know the man that's trying to talk to you is somebody that you would talk to. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Women think every woman is the woman that we want. So they don't want any women to try to talk to us ever. Because, and part of it is valid, because women are the gatekeepers of sex. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So we like, all right, well, ain't nothing happening if my woman don't say nothing happened. You see what I'm saying? But men, sometimes temptation is crazy. You know what I mean? And women understand that. You see what I'm saying? So the right woman can come through, and a weak man is taking that down. You see what I'm saying? It's tough. And you know, we've been out, and some bad ones have been there, and you know, and some niggas looking at me like, yo, Will, what you doing? You see what I'm saying?
Facts.
And you know, I've turned down a lot of stuff.
Yeah, facts.
But you know, it ain't always easy though. You see what I'm saying? Like, yo, it's
you make it look easy. You make it look easy.
It ain't always easy. Before I
got hitched, I was used to look at this nigga like, what? I'm like, this nigga is solid as a rock. Like shit. I'm like, nigga, I'm not saying nothing. Like, shit, like, but you know,
I understand. But when you in a committed relationship, especially when you married, you consider your significant other and all the moves you make.
Facts.
Like you said, how long you stay out at night, how you interact with people. You go out and have a good time, and you could even be, you know, a little in the mix and talking to women and everything. But you got to keep it cordial. You know what I mean? When you never know who looking. You know what I mean? So I don't even entertain it. It's crazy. You know what I mean? I got a good situation going on right now. I try not to mess up a happy home.
And that's one to grow on, because, you know, niggas definitely one to grow on. I already know who started that. And that's always how you close Jordan. One to grow on. And this is Ocean View. We'll be right back. But now, what you call it? So, like I said, I don't believe it's cheating. I know I went to the ringtone thing because I want to give a little more context with it. But you kind of knew where it was going to start going with the social media thing. Because remember a few years ago where if, say, like you liked about 10 pictures in a row, somebody would screenshot all of those and then they hit you with the thanks, you're a supporter. And I used to kind of think that was kind of corny. Like, damn, so you just going to blow them up? You know what I'm saying? Just because they liked all your pictures. But then as time went on, you looking like, oh, this looks a little crazy.
But the other thing is this though, like I found out through my man that a lot of these chicks really do be accessible. Like you can get at a lot of these chicks, yo. If you got the means to travel or fly them in, like yo, you can really like they are accessible. Like it's not just that. Like that's why I said the famous people are different than Instagram models. These women are just women. You see what I'm saying? Like yo, you say the right thing in the DM and you at them. You provide the right number in the DM and as far as money, you at them. You see what I'm saying? So it get a little. The social media is crazy.
You know what's crazy? I used to get hype off of when a blue check would comment on something I say. Now that shit don't be meaning nothing to me because the fact that you buy them since March. This is the cheat code. Anybody that's been verified since March of 2023, I gotta look at them side eye because now I'm not saying people still aren't getting verified the old fashioned way, but said I'm just looking at you differently because I was seen a few blue checks like something I did now. Because remember at first, we see blue checks, you like, oh, I'm making headway. Man, I got something double tapped the other day, blue check. I went right to their pitch. This motherfucker had 800 followers, following 10,000 people. I said, oh, you done bought that. It don't even hold the same weight anymore or whatever. So let them go from there.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up this little clip that I seen.
I told somebody to come pick me up before, but I looked out the window and it wasn't dead. So I let them sit outside my house and I'm like, I'm not coming out. I'm not here. My bad.
What?
I mean, it's not dead.
So how long was it the car? What made you just change your mind?
It was the car and what I seen through that window that wasn't adding up. And I'm like, I'm good. I'm not coming out the door.
So the car wasn't right.
It wasn't.
May I ask what type of car we talking about?
A Camry.
A Camry. Oh, what year was the Camry?
Shit, I don't know.
It wasn't the one you wanted.
To all you women that like to flake on dates,
Talk to him, sir.
I pray you get cheated on for the rest of your fucking life. I pray y'all hoes get cheated on.
That nigga crazy.
So what happened?
So the chick basically said she stood the guy up because he came out and got into a Camry, and the car just wasn't doing it for her. So my question is, my thing about this is, like, I just don't understand. And if you see the clip, I'm not gonna say that because that's gonna sound crazy. I'll say it. The chick don't look like the type of chick that could stand somebody up for coming out in the Camry. You know what I mean? But my question is, what's wrong with a Camry?
Forget about a Camry. And I did see the clip that you're talking about. She was cool. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to bash women because, I don't personally feel nobody looks that good that you can't have the vehicle that you
What I meant by that is she don't look like she's driving in something more than a Camry. You see what I'm saying? Like, I could understand that if you are driving in a Range or something like that. But I don't understand, women with wanting something that's way above what they had.
That's actually, I'm going to give you some pushback on that because, like I said, I don't personally feel no woman I don't care what you have. I don't care what you have in terms of vehicle. See, that's the whole thing is this. Guys, we already overvalue and put women on a super pedestal anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like that. So it's like, I've been a guy, first off, I've been somebody that didn't have a vehicle for years on end. You see what I'm saying? Like that. My first vehicle that I had, it was 2001. I had a 2000 Nissan Maxima. And I was in love with that car. I did numbers with that car. Then after that, about a year or so later, I got a Diamante. Mitsubishi joint had TVs in it. Had the navigation. That was my joint. I had that car for about 3-4 years, and I still had it. Things started going crazy. My life started going up and down. I didn't have a vehicle. When I sold that vehicle, I didn't have a vehicle for 7 years. No, I'm talking about 7 years, no vehicle. And you remember this time frame.
Yeah,
so
I was there.
No vehicle. But was I still messing with chicks? 100%. They was coming to get me. There was no Uber and stuff like that. They was just coming to get me. And I was just letting them know I'm not driving. See, my issue that I have with that clip is you put a price and you put a tag on something of value. I always say this is the problem with women with that. Women never know to pick the guy that's on the cusp of becoming something.
Yeah.
That's why I always, and if it sounds like I'm taking it personal, because I am, because a lot of times these finished products that women be wanting, them dudes ain't hollering at you. It's just not. They not. Because at that point, the dude that's up, you better be that super Instagram model that's getting 1 million likes and you looking flawless, because that's the only time that they might be paying you attention that way. But when you talking about, like she said it with the swag too. Oh, I looked out the window. It's a Camry. First of all, I personally don't see nothing wrong with a Camry. You know what I'm saying? Like that. That's for one. I personally feel when it comes to vehicles, you always try to upgrade as your life is going a certain way. Now, I also do believe this. I believe that, and we talk about it all the time, I believe your vehicle is an extension of you. Not too many people agree with that. I know a lot of women I've explained that to. They said they didn't agree with that fully until I explained to them. I even had some dudes that was like, well, nah, I'm just not into cars like that. And I get it. But for the most part, I kind of feel that your vehicle is an extension of who you are, not necessarily all the time, which only thing you can afford. Like that. Now, if this dude was cool enough to obtain your phone number, to even speak with him, that you've decided to have a date with him, where did he meet you at? Under what circumstances? You see what I'm saying? Like that. Because him pulling up in the Camry, because you wanted to get picked up. Because what if he just said, well, meet me at the spot? You see what I'm saying? Like that. It's just a lot of things. I'm not going to say that she didn't give enough context, but she said enough context that I've heard enough, because you gave him your number. You were interested enough in him to agree to going on a date with him. But because he pulled up with a Camry, you don't want to go with him? I need more context. Is the door missing? Is it mismatched doors? The window bust out? Say something. Even though that's still on the surface, I can get it. I'll give a little grace for appearance if that's the case. But for you just to say, oh, it was a Camry, but then you turn around. So you know what I heard? You might have heard one thing. You know what I heard when she said, okay, it's a Camry, I can't mess with them being on the same page. So that dude with that Benz or that Beamer or whatever, he could treat you like anything he want.
Yes. So that's my thing.
You see what I'm saying? He could treat you any way you want.
Like she can be easily manipulated.
Very easily.
Easily manipulated by physical things. Because one, I'm thinking of two dudes off the top of my head that was making real money that drove Camrys. Like when I say real money, I'm talking they wasn't rich or nothing, but I'm talking mid 6 figures. Like not mid 6 figures, but like 2 and some change a year, maybe pushing 3 a year.
They had kids?
Yes, one has a kid, but they both drove a Camry at one point. I think one of them now drives a Lexus. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But so my thing is,
Toyota makes Lexus.
Right, it's just an upgrade. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so my thing is, one, you could really be blocking a blessing. Like this could be a real good guy. A Camry, like you said, it's not context. It doesn't tell you how much money he makes. The Camry is not necessarily a cheap car, especially if it's a newer Camry. Then they can cost some real money. And he could be a good dude. Like, a good dude. I often say, well, what you said was good on the cusp or on the come up. You see what I'm saying? If he a good dude and he willing to take you out and then you get to know each other, he willing to take care of you. Who knows where he's going to go in the future? But if he's willing to take care of you at whatever stage he's at, he's willing to take care of you. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of especially younger women, they got taken care of messed up. Taking care of you doesn't mean take you on trips and buy you bags. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Taking care of you might mean you don't pay rent. You live here. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You don't pay bills. The only bill you have is your car. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Make sure you good. You see what I'm saying? Like a lot of women don't get taken care of. They get bought things. They think that's getting taken care of. Anybody that's up can buy you a bag.
Exactly, and that's the part right there too. And I'm glad you opened the door for that, because I know a lot of chicks that get a lot of material things from dudes. And I'm looking like, okay, it looks good now, but I'm looking like, you know, he probably bought that same bag. And I've told a few of them, like, yo, you know, he bought that same bag for maybe 2 or 3 other chicks. Well, I don't care. You need to care, because there's a time limit on how long he's going to keep. Like, yo, your sex may be cool, but you ain't doing all kind of super tricks, because he can always find somebody else that's going to do those same tricks. You see what I'm saying? Like that. So it's just like, yo, I don't even want to say, these chicks be listening to these rappers, because when you were saying nothing wrong with the Camry, I thought of a Fab line when he was like this: the goal wasn't live middle class and buy Camrys.
Right.
And I'm looking like, this is Fab saying that or whatever. Right. But I'm looking like, Fab, you are from the projects. 100%. You know what I'm saying? So stop it, because when you was riding around and stuff like that at first, y'all was in whatever somebody was driving. And that's how it is in the hood anyway. Your man get a whip, you don't even care what it is. Yo, such and such got a whip. You see what I'm saying? Like, take yourself, for example, how you're doing well and everything. Mm-hmm. I know what whip you used to have in. Yeah. And come on, we laugh about it now. There wasn't nothing wrong with it then.
But this is what I'm talking about. Yeah. Because, listen, when I was first got with my wife, I was broke. Like, broke. You see what I'm saying? But I'll tell you this, my wife has never paid rent. And I got a house. She's never paid the mortgage. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, like, even when I was broke, I took care of her. You see what I'm saying? Like, I made sure she was good because I took on that responsibility. Yep. You know what I mean? So, like, that's what taking care of a woman means. You don't have to be rich to take care of a woman. And I think that a lot of women is getting it misconstrued because social media is a fake place and that's where they live. Mm-hmm. And it's like they get it misconstrued, like taking care of me means that you can afford to take me to all these places and stuff. No, I couldn't do it. We ain't going on vacations when we first got together. Hey, the end of the month we going to Hawaii. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I've been to Europe. I've been places. Facts. But it's the ride. She took the ride with me. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? We was broke, and don't get me wrong, she made good money too. Like it ain't a thing. But I'm a man. I signed up for to take care of her. You know what I mean? So it don't matter what she made. You know what I mean? That contributes to the pot. But she still don't pay a mortgage. You know what I mean? And it's men out here that's willing to take care of you that drive Camrys, yo.
See, that's because, and I'm going to say it like this. The reason why so many women out here are accepting these bags and all this other stuff, y'all going to keep accepting those bags, keep accepting little trips to Tulum and all this other place. And you know what's going to happen when the smoke clears? You going to be inside somebody's car talking about, Nate, I'm in a bind. That's what you want me running around talking about. For real. Yeah. Because all that other stuff, you're going to be pawning them bags, No, because there's no value after that. It's just a flex for the moment. You see what I'm saying? Like that. And I'm looking like, this is why I always say women always get the guy that they want. And the women hate when I say that because they Everybody wants this 6'5", 6'6", super muscular, you know what I'm saying, sensitive / thug killer, you know what I'm saying, type thing. No. Them dudes ain't hollering like that. And they on different kind of times too. I keep trying to tell women too. These same dudes they be talking about that's going to do X, Y, Z, we be talking to them dudes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They talk totally different around men. Men talk totally different around men. So this whatever front they're putting up right there, that's just what that is, because you keep going for the proverbial pump fake. They putting the ball over your head. You still looking and everything. No. Now, I don't know where that young lady is in her life. And, you know, it's whatever. But if it was just that, this is how, the reason why it's an easy assumption for me to believe she wasn't super up is because the woman that is super up, she would have known from the beginning if he had a Camry. Because she might have just straight up asked. You see what I'm saying? Like, let's be honest. Now, I'm not saying that makes it right. But they are women out here that are up, and they gonna ask you, like, yo, I drive this. What you got? Where you parked at? Where do you live? Do you have a house or an apartment? And it may sound superficial and stuff, but if that's the kind of time they're on, I gotta respect it, because they're telling you, yo, look here, we not compatible in terms of that, because I'm on this level in terms of this, and I may be wrong, but this is my thinking. But for her to already give Duke the number and give him, you know what I'm saying, the address to come to the crib, and now you mad?
Because my thing is, what kind of person would not engage? Like, you just gonna look out the window and see this man pull up and act like you ain't there? Like, what kind? Like, he dodged the bullet. You see what I'm saying? Like, what kind of woman would not engage? Like, yo, you could go and have a good time with him, man. I ain't saying you gotta sleep with him or be with him. You accepted the invitation to a date. Go see what the man talking about. Like, I just don't understand. Like, you know how many times I've been out or hanging out with women that I had no interest in, just because we might have been in the group, or, you know, they just came up and talked to me. You know what I mean? And I can entertain a conversation. Like, I don't have no, even if I'm not attracted to you. You see what I'm saying? I'm not a mean-spirited person. I'm not going to just shoot you down and say you have no value because of what you drive or what you look like or what you're wearing. You see what I'm saying? That's crazy. Like, so this man just has no value at all because he pulled up in a Camry, but he had enough value to get your number and or ask you out and for you to accept. You know what I mean? Like, yo, you playing? You could have got a meal out of it at least. You know what I mean?
Nah, like you said, he dodged the bullet. He dodged 100%. The bullet. And that's the whole thing about a date. Are dates really just to get to know somebody? Because I'm going to tell you something funky about dates.
That's a good question.
There's dates that are just activities, and then there's dates to really get to know somebody. I believe you could do both, but I think they're kind of mutually exclusive. And I'm going to tell you why. Like I said, you can go and do a date that's interactive because you're doing something. Right. That's one thing. But then you know what to go to. I'm telling you, I hate it, cringes because I'm a movie guy. When women say, don't take me on a movie and dinner date. And I'm looking like, to me, that's the movie and dinner date to me is one of the most important dates. Because for one, it's financially, let me keep it 100. Dudes, the same way women have traumas from past dates and things that they've done, they say they won't do it again. Every dude has been caught up and done spent a few dollars on a date where a woman wasn't even interested in them. And guess what? Sometimes the dude wasn't even interested in her once he got to be around her for about 45 minutes or so. Dudes ain't just out here just shelling out money just because. So the same way women will be like, well, at least I can get a meal out of it. Dudes is like, man, I could be doing something else. So dudes ain't wasting their time or their money.
I don't think that you should spend a lot of money on a date unless you're trying to court a lady. I don't think that a first date is courtship. I think that a first date is getting to know to see if you want to court this young lady.
Exactly.
So I think that a first date should be either just a get together to kind of converse, or an activity that you find value in. For example, if you are a fitness guy and it will be a good first date to go on a hike with a woman, to see where her stamina is, to see if y'all compatible, to see if you into the same thing that I'm into, because I'm into physical outdoor stuff. You see what I'm saying? And on that, we can talk about the other stuff that we into. And if you find that you like this young lady, then you might want to spend a couple of dollars to wine and dine her and to really court her, to show you like, yeah, this is what I'm into. This is what we can do together. But a first date is something that you get to know somebody, get to know a little bit about somebody with.
This is the thing, because women like to always say, it's the little things.
Right.
And I'm like, get the fuck out of my face. Excuse my language. No, I don't want to hear that bullshit. That ain't about nothing. Something else I saw online. Here you go. This is the conversation. Hey, this is Vance. Hi. She replies, hi. Smiley face. Hope you had a good day. I'm excited for tomorrow. I can pick you up, but if you're not comfortable with that, we could just meet there. I don't know why, but I'm feeling like getting some ice cream in this hot weather. LOL. She replies, sorry if this may come off as rude, but I don't do ice cream dates. I'm a 26-year-old woman, and a date like that seems like the absolute bare minimum for me. Meeting up would be a waste of both of our times since we probably don't have the same vibe. Best wishes. He says cool.
100% cool.
This is the crazy part.
100%.
This is the crazy part. Once again, I brought that up because of how you're talking about with the courting and the little things. Yo, when you meet somebody, if you meet them in happenstance and you talk, maybe that conversation is 10 minutes long because you're going in one direction, they're going in another direction, but physically y'all both have a little attraction to each other. So fine, let's exchange numbers, but you have nothing to really go on.
Right.
So now you have a conversation on the phone. Most people, I'm still a phone person. I like to talk on the phone. But most people do it through text nowadays. So you're still not even, first off, texts are so, they're not personable enough for me in terms of that. They can only get personable enough once you've been dealing with the person. Right. But at the beginning, you like this. You just, whatever, you just typing away. You don't even feel no real vibe in it. And you can read tone inside a text message. And sometimes you can overread it or underread it, whatever. He don't know you. It's hot. I'm not even asking. The way I read it, I'm not even asking for all your time right now. Let's go get some ice cream or something like that. Now, you tell me you like toast and entitlement, fine. Let's get an icy. Do something. We go do something light or whatever. But this is not a date. And this is what we was talking about before, the date and the hangout. You see, like that. Or, as you added, courting. I'm not courting you yet. I want to see if you're even worth me courting. And it's not even about, and let me rephrase that. It's not about me as a man seeing if you're worth it. It's also giving you a glimpse of who I am. Right. Because you might not be interested in me. I might be doing what I think is some hot shit. And you might be like, how am I feeling this? Guess what? We both, no harm, no foul. I'm not really interested.
Right. We had some ice cream.
We had some ice cream.
Good conversation.
Chill,
we good.
and that's it. See, but once women started putting that out there with the swag, girl, at least you'll get a meal out of it. Dudes is like, what? You ain't get no meal out of this? You know what I'm saying? Like that. And it kind of turned the dating pool sour that way. And that was women. That was women. I'm sorry, I want to attack them, but that was women. Because dudes are still of the vein of, the better you look, the more money I'm going to probably have to spend. And a lot of times, that don't even be the case. That's the funny thing. Right. That don't even be the case a lot of times. Sometimes the same way we've all spent money trying to woo a woman, it's been times where you're looking like, shit, I didn't even have to do all this. And this is the result we got.
We have not all spent money trying to woo a woman. I have never spent money trying to woo a woman.
You ain't never spend money.
Not trying to whoop women, no. The most I've done was take a chick out to dinner and a movie to $100.
It's a woo. It's your level of woo. It's
Not
woo.
a woo. I wanted to go to the movies and eat. Like, yo, it's like
You just wanted company.
Right, but I, like you, like to watch movies. I need to see how you watch movies. Everybody don't watch movies the same. It's weird. Like some chicks, they talk through the movie, they disengage. Like, I want to talk about the movie, themes in the movie, stuff that happened in the movie, stuff like that. I think you go to the movies and then you go to dinner. That's a dope date because then you get to talk about all of the stuff that happened in the movie related to your life.
You have an automatic icebreaker.
100.
Because that's the whole, this is why, ladies, let me tell you like this. Do not shut down the movie and the dinner date because you have a built-in icebreaker already. Now the guy doesn't feel as awkward approaching you and talking. Y'all have already sat there for about 10, 15, 20 minutes talking about the movie. Y'all laugh or be introspective. Now the conversation slowly starts shifting towards what do you like and how things go. And you don't have to make it so much of 21 questions.
Right.
It's just y'all having a conversation. So I'm telling you, a lot of your friends that got them bands on their hand, they got it because they did not shut down the dinner.
In these guys' defense on wooing women, I didn't have to do that in this climate though. So I spend whatever on my wife. You see what I'm saying?
Facts.
So I ain't been single in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey man, with these women out here, you might have to spend a couple dollars because these women ain't playing. They is not playing.
Yeah, they playing. And I'm gonna tell you how they playing. Because, like you said, I haven't been single in a long time. And but I remember my stories. And I remember one time, and nobody even knew this. Matter of fact, my cousin knew it. I was going through a rough patch in life. I wish I had some background music. You know what I'm saying? But I was going through a rough patch. This was right before I didn't have a vehicle for 7 years.
Right.
So this was on the cusp of about to be I was already messed up when this happened, but I still had a vehicle at bare minimum. So I'm still going out, living my life. My cousin lives in the court next to mine, a couple of streets down. My BGE is off. That's gas and electric.
Gas and electric.
It's off. I don't mean I owe a few dollars. No, it's off. I haven't paid that joint in about 3 or 4 months. Not because I was irresponsible. Didn't have the money. And I couldn't get a job, but that's another story. So, but I still have my apartment for another 3-4 months. So it all kind of coincided. So I remember one particular night I went out. You know, I'm still dressing or whatever. My clothes. I go to my cousin's house. Or I would take a shower, but once I took my shower before 6, 7 o'clock because it was dark after that. You know what I'm saying? So I took my shower and everything. So I go out, we hang out. I meet a young lady. She wants to hang out afterwards. Now, I'm not just going to her house because she was like, I'll come back to your house. Now, I already know my damn gas and electric is off.
Oh, my God.
So I get there. So I'm like, fine. Now, I could have faked it and be like, nah, let's do it tomorrow. I'm looking like, nah, she was thick. I wanted to hit it that night. So I had to pull something that I ain't never think I was going to pull off. Keep in mind, once again, my gas and electric is off. And I know this. This is 2:30 in the morning. We pull up to the crib. I get out. She opened the door and everything. Soon as I get inside the apartment, I flicker the light switch. Click, click. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Hey, yeah. So she said, what happened? I said, I know these motherfuckers did not cut off my BGE. So I was like, I just finished paying. I said, I just finished paying this joint today. I said, it was after 5 o'clock because you got to do it by a certain time. Right. I said, it was just after 5 o'clock. So maybe it didn't post. Now, I thought she was going to be on some old, like, just getting snobbish. She was like, for real? Because that happened to me before. Once she said it happened to her, and I'm pretty sure she was right, oh, we on the same page. I said, yo, this is great. This is nothing like this has ever happened to me before. I was like, so we sitting there in the dark. We inside there.
Oh my goodness.
She was like, it don't matter. It's like that. She was like, you got candles or something? Of course I had candles. Because I knew my damn BGE was off for the past 2 months. Of course I got candles. And I was like, let me go look. I done put the candles, I lit the candles and everything. Oh, I still hit it that night.
That's crazy.
And I just drove her home. You know what I'm saying? Now, I didn't let her spend the night because I was like, it's too much because it was dumb hot in there too because there's no air.
Yeah.
So I just drove her back. So this whole thing, what they ain't going for, they going for it. You know what I'm saying? Like that. So
That's outrageous.
Please. So it's possible.
Oh my goodness. That's crazy. About to pull up this other little clip.
This? Why do I got a bank statement in the mail with an account that I don't know nothing about?
First of all, don't come in here yelling at me about no account. I have an account to make sure I'm good. That's why the account is there.
Why are you taking money out of the account while I don't know?
You are my husband. I have to make sure I'm good. I'm not. If we were to ever get divorced, I'm not about to be out here with nothing.
We gotta make sure we good. This don't got nothing to do with you sitting taking money out of
Has
the
to do
account that I
with
work hard for.
Do you not work for us? Are we not a family? You want? Don't.
This is working for you. This ain't working for
No,
us.
it is. I have to make sure I'm good. I'm a woman. If you were to leave me, I need to be okay. What is the problem?
You
with
need
that?
to be a problem. You're a self.
What's wrong with you?
Listen, check this out.
All right.
So, as a married man, how did you interpret that whole conversation?
Man. Well, you're a married man too. So first, how did you interpret that? What do you think? How do you feel about it?
First off, there's a lot of things that were we don't have context on.
Right.
So since we don't have context, let's put certain scenarios out there. Let's add certain
it up.
pieces. Because they didn't give us enough. Let's just say they were in a relationship, they're married for 15 years. Even though the amount was $22,000. Actually, I got to take that down because you're going to accrue more than $22,000 after 15 years or whatever. That's the only way something like that can happen is if you literally not putting no money in and you just let interest do whatever. But she was taking money physically out of their joint account into another secret account of hers. Now, the thing about this whole thing is that this is how I looked at it. For one, he has his own account, and I'm pretty sure she's got her own account, but she has another account. Now, the joint account, clearly he's working, so he's putting all the money in it. And my assumption from what she said and just listening, the husband is probably well-to-do, you know, as the breadwinner. And the reason why I say that is because he didn't realize that the money was gone.
Okay.
That's the only reason why. That's why. Because if it's not for the account, the statement coming up, he still wouldn't have known.
Right.
So I can only assume that he's well-to-do, and I don't want to keep saying he because he's married, but they're well-to-do because he's not missing that kind of money.
Right.
Like the $22,000, he's like, whatever. And he didn't even say anything about the amount. His issue was the underhandedness of her trying to plan for something that might not even happen.
Right.
And in that case, if it's a 15-year relationship, I'm not going to say that I'm just going to walk away. 5-year relationship, that's damaging because this is early in the marriage. That's damaging because it's telling. It's telling because it's not. It's that thin line between trust and morality. And I think she's crossed the moral line. The trust line has already been chalked out. Not fully because her whole thing about I have to protect myself.
Right.
This is when she loses ground with that. She loses ground with saying I have to protect myself. Then what the hell do we have a joint account for if you have to protect yourself? Because you still have access to that money. You see what I'm saying? Like that. You still have access to that money. So it's not like I'm going to cut you off. It's not like if he takes all the money out, he does something, oh, you didn't, you didn't confer with me, because if he didn't confer with you, you have something to say because it's a joint account.
Right.
But you went off and got a whole separate account. Now, if he was giving her an allowance and she did that, I don't think this would be an issue.
But he didn't have to give her an allowance because she had access to the money.
Exactly.
So my thing is this. I don't know how I could get past this. Because you're stealing from us to give to you. You see what I'm saying? It's theft. You're stealing from us.
Not really.
It is.
Not really. I'm gonna tell you why it's not. I'm gonna tell you why
understand.
It's not theft, because she has access. She has access to the money.
I understand what you're saying.
That's the morality.
Legally is not theft.
Okay, thank you.
See what I'm saying?
That's all I want to clear
But
up.
what you're doing is you're stealing from us, our unit, to give to you because you're planning for the separation of our union.
Okay.
Right? You're stealing from us to give to you, and that thought process is too immediate for me. And when I say immediate, it sounds to me like you are planning for this. For the escape.
You have been planning.
No, not have been.
She's not planning.
Are planning for the escape. Like you will escape this somehow.
But she's already, not only is she planning, she's already starting to execute because the money's there.
Right. This is happening. This is why I don't think the way my brain works, I would feel like you out of the relationship. You're done. Like this is your escape. You've been planning for this for a while, and when you hit a number, it was going to be over. Mm-hmm. That's how my brain works.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And as far as joint money, see, because I don't have a joint account with my wife.
Okay.
And we've been together for over 15 years.
Sorry.
You know what I mean? Over 15 years. My wife is really good with money. I'm really good with money. But I do feel like you should have a separate account because I don't want to police what she does with her money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She spend money on what everybody has their thing that they spend money on.
Whatever
other
that
people
thing
look
is.
at you like, that's crazy. I wouldn't spend money on that. But everybody has their thing. You see what I'm saying? That's not a thing. But my thing is, I don't like the lying piece, the manipulation, the underhandedness. Like you could have said like, yo, I'm opening up a personal account. Like that could have been a conversation. Like people have personal accounts like outside of this and say, hey, I'm gonna start putting some money aside because I want to save money for myself. Or I want to do this. You could have had that conversation, but to just do it sneaky, you know what I mean? Underhandedly, you know what I mean? As a person who needs peace in the home, I can't be with somebody that's just undermining me, especially when it comes with money.
Because it's almost like when it comes to trust in a relationship, it's almost like I call it the haunted house theory. And this is what I mean by it. I was watching something on TV the other day, and mind you, it all come together. You'll understand. I was watching something on TV the other day about scariest places. What makes a place haunted outside? I mean, that's about ghosts. A building that's decrepit and all messed up. There's nobody in there.
Right.
But it's your mind.
Right.
Of what could be around the corner. There's nothing even around the corner. But your mind freaks you out. It's the same theory. If this is what you're thinking, you're planning, you're executing, and the relationship has been going fine, what else will you do for the sake of just yourself, to save yourself? And that's, like you said, I think that goes towards why you said you can't get past it.
Right.
Because at that point, it has to be a super grand gesture. For one, even if she put all the money back into the account.
Right.
I'm not going to say you were hardly paying attention to that account, but let $10 be missing next week. You looking at the statements like, what was that for? And you were never on that kind of time.
Right.
But now because of the underhandedness, now you have to I don't even want to say petty because no, you're just being more heightened alert of everything going on financially, where it was a point where you was going into it, you were willingly putting money into it blindly.
Right.
Because you just like, oh, it's me and my wife. Yeah, don't worry about it. I'm even fine. But like this, he would have been better off if she just said, oh, I went and bought something, yada, yada, yada.
Right.
But the fact that she didn't buy anything, she planned, executed, and put that money someplace else as escape route. Now, I'm with you. A word, that's your escape route. How much is in there? $22,000. This is what I'm talking about in terms of the amount. $22,000? Yeah, you know what? We might as well go our way right now. Because I promise you, that $22,000 ain't going to last you.
Right.
That ain't going to last you. What you going to do with that? What you going to do with that? You ain't buying no house. You not, okay, you can get yourself an apartment. Good luck. It'll hold you down for a few months. Then you got the bills. You got security deposits and all that stuff. Like, I would have probably been on that side. Fine, take your little $22,000. Go about your business. But you don't get married to get into that kind of things with your woman. Now, we know life happens. But like you said, communication. And we hold women, I know I do, I hold women to a higher standard of communication because I thought that was your calling card.
It's not.
Talk. But come to find out, it's not.
It's definitely not. I don't hold people. I'm finding more and more that people don't know how to communicate and are afraid of tough conversations. Like, people are afraid of tough conversations. And in a marriage, it's plenty of tough conversations. You don't just agree on everything. You know what I mean? It's two different people that have to come together and plan a life and compromise on values, morals, and all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean? So it's going to be some tough conversations in there. And I think that the breakdown is people avoid tough conversations. That's just what it is. They would rather lie and dismiss it and act like it's not there than to have the real tough conversation in fear that somebody will think of them differently or this will be over. I just feel like when you get married, you take a vow to be with this person so that this will be over piece. It's assumed that we're going to do everything in our power for this not to be over. So the tough conversation will just have to happen. You know what I mean? But I think a lot of people just refuse to have tough conversations. They would rather just lie their way out of it and then wait till it explodes.
One thing I want to say to anybody that's out here looking, my partner Willie Negro said, the tough conversations and everything, they have to be, tough conversations aren't just for marriage. They're for friendships. They're for
100%.
The workplace. Not so much the workplace because you have a hierarchy and everything like that. But tough conversations are pretty much, if you're in a relationship with somebody, I'm not talking about male, female, like that terms. I'm just talking about if you just have friends and people you're around, people you care about, tough conversations can save that relationship before 100%. It gets to another point and everything. And the thing about having a tough conversation is, especially in marriage, when somebody says we're here for better or for worse, because the first time I had to have a tough conversation, I was like, you know what? We need to talk because we said we was going to do this for better or for worse. And right now, this is the worst. We're at worse. So I kind of started it there, and then we were able to have the conversation then.
Yeah.
And things that you want to hear and don't hear, you're going to hear them. But you have to cleanse yourself and get out what you need to say too. Because bottling it up doesn't do anything, doesn't do no good for your partner, and it does no good for you because the whole point is once the conversation's over, we don't have to revisit it anymore because we've emptied ourselves and said what we had to say. This is another episode of Oshin's View. Have them tough conversations and enjoy yourself in life. Peace.
Peace.